Good morning, guys. I am just making some coffee before I start my treatment. I apologize for the radio silence. There was some stuff going on that I don't really feel like delving into, but I'm just starting my day, and after I do my treatment and take Trikafta, I'll probably get back to that puzzle because I did a lot of it yesterday, and I'm kind of addicted at the moment, but I don't know why. Last night and this morning, lung-wise, I just feel a little bit off. Last night I actually got up at like 11 o'clock to do albuterol, which I normally don't do because normally I like do it like once in the morning. I just had these like tight-chested, choky type feelings, and I was like, I think I need albuterol. So it helped. I eventually fell asleep, and I thought maybe that's the end of it. Maybe it was just something weird going on. But then I woke up this morning and I feel almost the exact same way. I also feel a little bit nauseous because I'm a bad CFer and I don't tend to cough things out. I tend to, swallow them because it disgusts me. Which, since starting Trikafta, there's not really much there to begin with, but since last night there has been. So I don't really think I'm sick. I just think something's irritating me, so hopefully treatment will help. And we will continue on with the day, and I'll show you guys the puzzle because I'm pretty excited about it. It's time to feed Bolt for the morning. He knows when I'm going to feed him now because he comes up to the top of the tank, and I think he's ready to eat. You hungry? Not super focusing, but it's focusing on everything but the fish. And I can't do this one-handed. He gets 2 of these pellets a day. I think this is going to last me the entirety of the fish's lifespan, but I've had him for a week now, I think. Or just over a week, 8 days. And that's it for the morning. Was that good? I'll actually focus on the fish. Apparently not. It is there. And now, pretty soon, maybe now, I'm going to get back to this. I worked on this for, I think, about 4 hours yesterday, somewhere around there. What I did was basically laid it out so I can see every single piece. And I have the pieces in there, pieces in here, pieces in here, these, and then underneath this, there's more pieces. A lot of pieces. But, I'm kind of stumped on this. I finally found the wolf's face. The 2 wolf ears was the very first piece I found. I finally found the wolf's face. Don't have much of this or that, but I've been working on this section right here. So I pretty much finished Florida. Well, I did finish Florida, except for this little part of the parrot that I still have yet to find. Finished the flamingos, almost all of the turkey. Finished the alligator. Almost done with the turtle. Finished the possum. And I have the foxes that are stumping me a little bit. And then just started on the cougar. So we'll see how far we get today. Hey guys, so it's a little bit later and I rested for a while. I'm starting to wonder if there could be something going on, and I don't mean COVID, I'm going to specify that right now. But this is not post-Trikafta, and it could just be a bad lung day, but I don't know, my throat hurts and I'm tired and coughing and it's not the best. It's not that I don't feel sick, but I don't feel well either. It's kind of that in-between, like, kind of thing. But regardless of how I feel now, I definitely feel better than I did 3 years ago. Today is always a little bit of a weird day for me since 2018 because it's August 28th, and August 28th is the day 3 years ago that I broke my left ankle. And yeah, it's kind of interesting to me that it's been 3 years. It does not feel like it's been that long. if you weren't around then, basically, I was supposed to just go riding on Smokey for an hour, and then I was packing the house because we were in the process of moving at that time. So Smokey is one of the neighbor's horses, but he lives at a separate location because he has 2 like farms, and so I don't really see him on the daily basis. I used to. When I first started going down there in 2016, he lived there, but I think it was like in 2017 or 2018 he moved him over to that second farm, and a couple other horses there that I don't really see much either. Cinnamon, a couple others that I don't remember the name of, but I went down there a couple of times. Frank used to be down there, and Frank's now back with the others, but so anyway, it was a Tuesday. I remember this day very well. It was a Tuesday, and I went riding on Smokey, and it was the first time I'd ridden in a while. But anyway, for the first, like, I don't know, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, I don't know the exact time. I went down there at 9:30 in the morning. The ride went beautifully. We were walking around for a while. The saddle that I used for Smokey, because I'm so short, the only saddle he had that fit Smokey, I didn't really have stirrups, but it had never been a problem before. I'd ridden him, I think 3 times before, or twice, no. I ridden him twice before. I rode Maxine once. So anyway, I wasn't really worried about it. So I rode him around for, like, he was doing some work in the house, the guy was doing some work in the house, and I was just riding Smokey out in the field, and it was just this square field that wasn't super big, but big enough, and just kind of, you know, having fun. So we walked around for a while, we were trotting, and 2 times before that, I had decided that I was gonna canter for the first time. And when I cantered, this was back in I'm not sure if it was 2016 or 2017, either way. Anyway, Smokey was the first horse I ever cantered on. After that, I cantered on Blackjack when I was taking lessons at Wofford Ranch, but Smokey was the first horse I'd ever canter on. And he didn't have a particularly smooth canter, but it wasn't super bumpy either, and I didn't have stirrups the first time I cantered on him, so I was like, I don't really, you know, I'm not worried about it. So that time, you know, it went smoothly. We cantered like twice, and I, you know, called it a day. And as I was getting ready to wrap up, because it was kind of hot, it was August, I was like, let's canter one time up this hill, because it was like a sloped hill. I was like, we're gonna canter up this one hill, hill, and then we'll wrap up for the day, because I need to pack. And I remember, you know, I'm a little bit nutso, but I kind of like, I talk to the horse when I'm riding them, and I remember saying to Smokey, I was like, this is either gonna go really good or really bad. And it did not go very good. Let's put it that way. And I don't remember, to this day, I don't remember falling off. I do not remember falling off. All I remember, I don't remember how I fell off. My guess is because he bucked, because I just remember when I first woke up, when the guy asked me what happened, I said he bucked me off. So that's what I go with, but I don't actually know what happened, and I never will. And I do remember I had forgotten my fanny pack that day, so I left my phone in the truck, his truck, and I'm really glad I did, or I probably would have broken my phone. I'm really glad I did it. Somehow I didn't break my glasses either, but anyway, I did have a helmet on. So I just remember saying this is either gonna go really good or really bad, and I just remember, you know, telling him to go. And I don't even really remember cantering. I remember going down the hill, or up the hill, I mean, trotting, and then the next thing I remember is waking up on the ground, like my vision being all blurry, not being able to like see very well. I couldn't breathe because I had the wind knocked out of me, and of all places to land, I landed in a huge mud puddle. So I was covered in mud. And one boot of mine, I think it was the one that had broken, the left ankle, the boot was like halfway across the pasture from where I was. The horse was nowhere in sight, and the guy, it felt like an eternity because I couldn't breathe. I don't know how long it actually was, but I think it was pretty fast. The next thing I remember is the guy coming and asking if I'm okay, because Smokey had galloped off back to the barn and was standing in a stall with all his tack on, and, you know, I'm not there. So he asked if I was okay, and I said my ankle hurts, but I think I'm fine, or something along those lines. And I don't remember walking back across the pasture. I retrieved my boot. I don't remember walking back. This was a little bit stupid. Don't do this. But you know that always saying, like, if you fall off a horse, get back on. And I was like, I am not going to let this horse get away with whatever happened, whether it was my fault or not. But even if it was my fault, I don't want my confidence to be knocked. So I got back on, and rode him around for like 10 minutes. I rode him for like 5 minutes in the corral, like round pen. And then I went back out into the field and just kind of walked around for a bit just to get my confidence back. But towards the end of that 10 minutes, when I would like squeeze to make him go, I realized that my left ankle was hurting really bad. And my knee also hurt because I had a big like graze on it, but my ankle hurt really bad. So I took the horse back, walked him back, got off. Jumping off the horse, I realized something was definitely wrong because Smokey is not a small horse. I think he was like 16 hands. I realized something was definitely wrong and ended up, you know, going to urgent care. I do remember my poor mom. I remember taking my phone because I got back in the truck and I was like, I'm gonna call her to let her know what happened and I hope she doesn't yell at me. And the guy was like, I hope she doesn't yell at me. But I just remember it was nobody's fault. I mean, it's horses and it happens. But anyway, I just remember the first things I opened that conversation with the phone after I called her was like, don't freak out, but yeah, don't say that or somebody's going to freak out. Just imagine answering the phone when I shouldn't really even be calling because she just knew I was going to be back after riding. And the first thing you hear is, don't freak out. But anyway, long story short, I went to urgent care. I had broken my tibia in my ankle and ruptured the ligament on the other side of my ankle. So my left ankle was just like completely, like it was, by the time I got back to the house and to urgent care, I guess the adrenaline somehow made me able to walk across the field and get back on the horse and ride and walk into the truck. By the time I was at urgent care, I could not walk on that foot anymore. It was excruciatingly painful. So I just remember I didn't have crutches, so I was just hopping on one foot to get into urgent care. But, and then I ended up having to go to an orthopedic surgeon and got 2 screws put in my tibia that are still there to this day and will be there for the rest of my life. Titanium screws. And I think it was till October. I think October, November is when I started actually like being able to walk in 2 shoes again. So it was a long, arduous thing that I never care to repeat. I have the videos on my channel, but yeah, August 28th is always a little bit just yeah, that happened. And it didn't deter me from riding it. It didn't deter me from, now I will say I've never ridden Smokey again, but that's mostly just because I don't really want to traumatize the guy because I kind of traumatized him by all this. But, so I never rode Smokey again. I did see him again, but I never rode him again. Or did I see him again? I don't know if I did. Maybe it was just Frank because he brought Frank back. I don't know if I ever saw Smokey since then, but, you know, I still have a love of horses. I still love going down to the barn. I'm looking forward to it in a couple weeks. And it was February 2019, February 27th, 2019, I think, when I finally got back on a horse. That's when I got on Blackjack over at Wofford Ranch. It was the first time riding. And I will admit I was a little bit nervous, but it wasn't like super nerves. So I think after that, because of different circumstances, I don't think I got back on a horse until last year. March something of last year, I went on a trail ride and that was the last time I've ridden and I'm like itchy to get back on a horse. But anyway, so I would gladly get back on a horse, and even though it was scary, it was, you know, it comes with the territory. And yeah, even when I was going through the you know, ankle stuff, the guy would come and drive me down to the barn and I'd go in a wheelchair and sit with Blondie in a wheelchair and, you know, yeah. But 3 years later, how am I now? I am pretty much 100%. There is some days where, not where the brake was. Where the brake was itself never bothers me, ever. The brake was on like the inside of my ankle and the other was on like the outside. So anyway, brake area itself, never a problem. The part where the ligaments were ruptured, which is pretty much like a severe sprain, occasionally it will hurt if I do a lot of walking or if it gets really cold outside. It will hurt, but it's not like debilitating. So, but that's all I've got for today. I'm just gonna rest because I really don't feel very good, and we'll see what we get up to tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for coming along my day today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.